Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park and welcome to our Ready for Everything event. Thank you for braving the elements to join us today. I was talking to Martin over breakfast this morning. I can't believe it's 12 years since the Games were hosted here. Where's that time gone? My name is Ben Williams. I'll be your host today. Any questions throughout the day, please ask me or a member of the team. We've got a super agenda. We've got a super set of speakers, panelists, sponsors, and content. Now, to start the event, we're going to play a short video, after which I'm delighted to welcome to the stage our UK and Ireland CEO, Frederick Lalonde.
What's your emergency? Can you assist the patient to the ground?
He's on the 30-yard line. Goal!
Because our world runs on digital, technology foundations are essential. You might not always see them, but you always feel them. They power modern society, from the everyday to the mission critical. They help you shape and build a future that thrives for everyone. They enhance employees' experience anytime, anywhere, for a better work-life balance. They make you live the show and be part of the big scene. We are Atos, 52,000 strong. And we know that when progress meets purpose, tomorrow will always be thriving. Atos, advancing what matters.
I'm delighted to welcome you to this iconic venue.
What a place. The London 2012 Games were a catalyst for turning the UK high-performance sports system into the world-class medal factory that it is today. Fantastic game has been done, fantastic achievement has been done, and I only have a request. If you can cool down a little bit the performance of the Great Britain because of the Paris 2024, I'm pretty sure that the games will be fantastic. Everybody will get sparkling in the eyes. Nevertheless, back to the performance of the French team, I'm a little bit doubtful. So if you can help us somewhere, more than welcome. It seeks to do by nurturing the value of Olympisms, which are defined as excellence, respect, and friendship. The same value that we are bringing within our own company. I remember Olympic Committee President Jacques Rouge, Belgium guy, is not French, declared that the London 2012 Olympic Games happy and glorious, and thank London. There was a before and after London. I mean, I met the IOC, I met some of the members over there, and London has been a catalyst to change the way they are organizing the games, the way they are thinking about the games, and there was a before and after. So, well done to Great Britain, well done to UKI. Sport is not different from our business. At the end, it is all about innovation, competitiveness, performance, team and collaborative ecosystem, strategy and data analytics. At Atos, we are proud and privileged to have worked with the IOC International Olympics Committee for over 30 years. We started the adventure in 1992 with the Barcelona Games, so 30 years ago. Then, since the Winter Games in Salt Lake City in 2002, we have been a global partner of this exceptional event in every way. We have had the honor of contributing to the transformation journey of each Games. We have had the honor of contributing to the digitalization of the Olympics and Paralympics Games. If you remember, 30 years ago, we were talking about bringing on the table a PC, connected a PC somewhere of what we call internet, up to the massive use of smartphones and social networks. I mean, the transformation has been massive. Each game has its own challenge, and each time we have been working closely in collaboration with the IOC in order to make better. Today brings us as a community to network, to interact, and to share learnings and insight, and shape the future of our respective company, and hopefully together, and for sure. Today we'll take you on the technology and operation journey of delivering the cloud, the infrastructure and operation for the IOC, International Olympics Committee, together with our other valued customer. By that I mean UEFA, I mean the European Tour Group, I mean the European Championships, as well as the Special Olympics. For me personally, I really hope that today also provides you with a glimpse into the dedication, commitment and flexibility of the people that makes these outcomes possible. That extends from technical operation, client delivery, and back office testing to the huge number of volunteers. Just to give you some numbers and some facts, in Paris, we received 300,000 applications for volunteers, while we've got only 45,000 places available. So massive, massive momentum from the volunteer. And again, using a citation of Jacques Rouge, he said in 2012 in the London Games, "We will never forget the smile, the kindness and the support of the wonderful volunteers, the much needed heroes of these games." So while talking about the games, it's all about people, starting with the performance of the athletes, but also each single individual contributing to the organization of the games. And it's not different in our own company. And I would like to bring on stage Jenna, if you want to join me, as we've got exceptional people in our team. So Jenna, this torch is yours. It's an authentic one, which has been used in 2012. And Jenna, prior to the games, has done a fantastic performance. So top of my mind, she raised first 35,000 pounds for charity. And she ran 10 half marathons, 2 marathons, and she spent 9 days on this Great Wall of China. You know, for me, it's an outstanding performance. You know, I can even not run 1,000 meters. So Jenna, I need to learn from you, and you need to coach me, to be honest. So Jenna's dedication is truly inspirational, and I hope that you will take the opportunity today to meet and network with Jenna and other colleagues to listen to their story, to share yours, and for you to come away inspired to act on the next chapter of your journey to advance what matters. So prior to hand over to the next one, thank you, Jenna. I think we can applaud Jenna. I mean, she did a great performance. So prior to hand over to the next speaker, I would like to bring on stage my ex-com or some of my team, because not all of them will be on stage today, but I think it's key that you put a face behind the names. So I will start with Sam. Come in, everybody. So Sam is driving and leading the public sector. Dean? Yes? Don't be shy. So Dean is in charge of managing the private sector. Nick, come on stage. Nick is at the head of the sales in UKI. I think we've got Edgar. Edgar in charge of managing, come in, hybrid cloud and infrastructure, business line. Did I miss? We've got Martin, part of the XCOM as well. So Martin in charge of the communication and marketing. And I would like to thank, did I forget anybody? No, so he's not there. So I think I would like to thank all of them. Either they are guilty or they are also a catalyst in order to make your business successful. So it's good that you understand each of them and you meet each of them moving forward. So with that, I would like to hand over to Nick, and thank you very much.
Did you notice that Fred said, when he said guilty, he looked at me? Also, Jenna, if I had that tracksuit, I'd wear it every single day. I'm not sure I'd change if I went to bed. I think I'll just push on through. So folks, I am Atos UK's Chief Revenue Officer and Head of Sales. I work for Fred. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here today. So thank you very, very much. What a lovely way of kicking off 2024 by being in this venue. When Ben and I were planning this event, I was really psyched. I was really excited. And he came to me one day in a planning session and said, good news, we've secured this amazing venue. It's a pinnacle of achievement. It's the top of sport. And I thought, finally, my team have been listening to me. They're listening. They've rented out Stamford Bridge, home of Chelsea Football Club. And he said, no, it's better, apparently. It's the home of West Ham United. Okay, so we're over that now. There's some West Ham fans in the room. Any hands? There's definitely 1, 2, 3. You guys are on hallowed turf, apparently. Let's have a bit of fun before we get going. So I'm going to give you 4 numbers. And at the end of this, maybe we'll track back and see if some of you will know what those numbers are. So 59%, 49%, 3 billion, and 80 million. Okay? So 49%, 59%, 3 billion, and 80 million. We'll come back. So I have to say how much I've been personally looking forward to this event and this occasion, specifically to engage with all of you in person, face-to-face, whether you're customers, colleagues, friends, advisors, all of you. You're welcome, and I really, really appreciate it. But today is your day, okay? So we want to make the most of your time with us, not the other way around. And ultimately, it's about connecting voices across the industry. It's about having rich discussions about the future. We want to learn from you. We want to create a bit of a system of symmetry where we come back together on a regular basis. And this is as much yours on an annual basis as it is ours, okay? Ultimately, as Fred alluded to, this is a year of sport, amazing sport, with some of the biggest calendar moments playing out. And Atos, like the entire world, will be gearing up for the excitement of the Olympics, the Paris Olympics and Paralympics. I look at Fred as our token French person in the audience. It's your Olympics, Fred. As well as the UEFA European Football Games. Now, I'm a mad sporting fan, so during the Olympics, I'll watch every single sport religiously. I'll be the one shouting at 9 p.m. at night when dressage is on halfway across the world. I know nothing about dressage, but during the Olympics, I absolutely adore it. But what most of you may never have realized is what it takes to run one of these events, one of these high-profile games. And while it's really easy to get swept up, like me, in dressage and show jumping and shooting and any sport, I'll watch them all, actually, what you don't see is what we do behind the scenes, that critical major event, infrastructure and operations that makes it happen. And as a global partner for the IOC and for these major events, we provide all the critical IT, infrastructure, security, and operations that allows 3 billion people to enjoy those games. And 3 billion was at the last count. It's always higher, and it will always be higher as we become more and more connected. So today, we will lift the curtain on how we do that and how our partners work with us to help us do that as well. And as Fred mentioned, sport and business have huge parallels, okay? So, the lessons learned from the former applied provide success for the latter. So let's think about it. Sport and business are both competitive, dynamic, challenging. They both require innovation, resilience, and excellence. They both rely on collaboration and strategy, and more data. And they both have risk and reward, significant risk and reward. So today's event is about helping you all, us all, be ready for everything. And this is where we, as a community and as Atos, this is where we come to play. So technology has always transformed every aspect of sporting events. And over time, it's permeated into other areas. And today, it even impacts the way athletes train. They can now optimize their performance through data analytics. There's an entire industry that's built up and set up around doing that. I think the current Chelsea team sponsor is actually an AI analytics company that deals with sports trading. If I'm wrong about that, then shame on me. So they can optimize their performance through data analytics. It's been a game changer for the likes of us as spectators. So whether it's in stadiums like this beautiful, magnificent Olympic stadium, not a football stadium, or bringing people closer together with their technology at home or abroad. Okay, not just gambling, but all manner of the sporting arena. And it's one of the most tangible proof points of how creative and positive the potential of technology can be. Really? Taking it away from me now? Oh man, that was my photo moment coming. So we're going to keep quoting Jacques Rogge because he was particularly kind to us in terms of our support of the Olympics. But one of the things he said is, He actually said that Atos were the unsung hero of the 2012 Olympics, okay? Without whom none of it would happen. Now that's probably going over the mark. But the point is, our job in the Olympics or UEFA or Tour Golf, or for many of our customers, maybe Scottish Water, is we're the people behind the scenes. We're the excellence behind the curtain that you don't see, and we don't necessarily need or want to be seen. Our job for every customer is to be the strength behind the scenes. And what makes us unique, what makes us special, is that we're engineers. At our heart, we come from an engineering background, and we are systems integrators by trade. There are very few other people that can say they have those two things in combination at scale around the world. And that's us. That's what makes us special. And we combine that with the fact that we support the entire IT continuum. Okay, so wherever your data is, whether it sits in the deepest, darkest legacy of an IBM or Fujitsu mainframe, by the way, I'm an ex-IBM mainframe coder, so it's not dark to me, it's all good. Or it sits on the expanding edge, and the really expanding edge, for 3 decades, that's been our expertise. And we do everything from intelligent networks, mainframe, on-prem, our data center, hybrid, multi-cloud, and the works. And we bring a whole suite of partners to help us deliver that. So let's talk about Atos for a second. Let's bridge from there. We've been on a bit of a journey ourselves to build a new Atos, which we call Tech Foundations. And it all started some 18 months ago when we determined to split our group into 2. And we did that for a number of different reasons, but one of them was to create 2 pure play powerhouses that were entirely focused on a very specific core portfolio. Number 1, new Atos Tech Foundations, which is the vast majority of us in the room. We're the leader in delivering that infrastructure, that foundational service, that behind the curtains, behind the scenes partner. And then Eviden, some of our colleagues in the room from Eviden, delivering that high-end, scale-up, boutique digital services and cyber tech. This required a mindset shift. It required a strategic refocus, a move which has demonstratively paid off for a number of different reasons. And if we focus on just the Tech Foundations element for a minute, this has gone incredibly well. We now have a very simplified, uncomplicated, very focused portfolio. We do 3 things. Come back to that in a minute. We are no longer trying to be all things to all people. And in fact, we just want to do 3 things. 3 things that we are really, really, really super good at, okay? So number 1, we're the data people. That's a hybrid cloud and infrastructure business, and that's broadly what we're focused on today. We are the experience people. That's our digital workplace business. That's delivering end-to-end experience at scale in a way that's good and healthy for the planet. And finally, we help customers get things done with our technology services business. And our credentials are recognized. So the likes of ISG would tell us, thank you, that we're the leaders in employee experience and transformation services, as well as mainframe services and solutions, as just 1 or 2 examples. So this dedicated hybrid cloud and infrastructure business, which again we're focused on today, makes up about 1/3 of our Atos Tech Foundations company. And we're really proud that it's the forefront of the market. And as I said, I want you to think about us as the data people. I'm going to labor that. And the reason is, wherever your data is, we secure it, we optimize it, we manage it the way you want it to be managed. And we put intelligent systems in place, whether it's in the private or the hybrid or the edge, to enable it to do so. Now, I'm conscious that some of you will have some questions about our transformation, and that's absolutely fine. What I would ask is you approach me or Fred or Clay, who will be around a bit later, or Sam or Dean, and we'd be delighted to answer any questions you might have about our transformation. Or come to our advisors booth in the other room. Ideally, what we focus on stage is focusing on sports, operations, and how we help customers going forward. But again, very open to any questions. So let's bridge to AI. It's going purple. You're going to have to change that color in a minute. Now that we've simplified our portfolio, what next? Investment. To stay on top of our game, we need to evolve to maintain our position at the leading edge of foundational IT. The market's changing faster than ever, and one of the key drivers for that is emergence of generative AI. Okay? It's causing a profound impact on our industry. It's reshaping everything that we do in ways that we could never have fathomed or imagined. and it's here to stay. The opportunity for us is how we succeed, and succeed together. So we need to be agile, we need to embrace it. And by this, I'm referring to how we incorporate Gen AI into what we do to untap more efficiency, more value, and ultimately to integrate domain-specific Gen AI, easy for him to say, use cases. For us, it's already deeply embedded in what we do, with various elements of our services. So let me give you 2 examples. So number 1, AI-assisted incident and problem management. Number 2, we are one of 3 global GSIs who are on the early adopter program with Microsoft for their Copilot for Office 365. Again, as another example. Let's focus on partners as I begin to hand over to Sam. Speaking of partners, I really want to call out a number of partners that have been super supportive of us today. So Microsoft, AWS, Dell, and Cisco. If you're in the room from those 4, please can you stand up just for a minute? Very good. Thank you very much for your very kind support. Please, folks, come and visit them at their booths, okay? These aren't just sponsors. These aren't just partners. These aren't just slideware. We work with these men and women every single day to deliver our services. They're part of our end-to-end family. Folks, thank you. Thank you very much. And when you go to their booths, please sign up for a roundtable event which we're going to be hosting in 4 weeks' time with them at their premises, where we'll be with you. But we'd love as many of you as possible to come, and we can set up some unique one-to-one environments to really spend some time with you. I would also like to thank our best-in-class executives from ISG. So Steve and Eleanor, if you could just stand up and wave to the crowd. I know you're on stage in a moment anyway. I'm going to embarrass Steve for a minute, because Steve, like me, has more than 1 job, like Fred as well. I think you have 3. But I'm going to go through them because I think it's important. So he's President of Europe, he's Global Head of Digital, the best job title ever. He's Chief AI Officer. So if anyone wants a beer with Steve later, it's the best beer you're going to have. And you've got to figure out whether he's actually giving you his own words or he's using generative AI to respond to you. They will present a complete view of operations landscape, where they think it's heading, okay, and how your organization can overcome some of the challenges that will pose. Now, I gave you 4 numbers earlier. You're going to have to stop that timer because I'm going to go on forever. I gave you 59%, 49%, 3 billion, and 80 million. Does anyone know all 4 of them? Anyone think they know all 4 of them? Okay, here we go. So 59% is the number of countries that have an election this year. 59% of democracies, not all of them democracies, but let's go with it for a second, democracies, are having an election this year. That's 49% of the planet. That's broadly 3.5 billion people. 3 billion people is who we plan to as a minimum, to be putting scores out to and delivering content delivery and providing Olympic backbone as viewers around the world. And 80 million. 80 million, give or take 4 or 5 million, is the number of incidents. Sorry, that's not true. It's the number of cyber threats that we will prevent from being incidents during the 2 weeks of the Olympics. Someone do the maths on that. I'm not going to do it on stage because I'll get it wrong. That's 14 days. That's circa 75 to 80 million events that we stopped being a major incident. And in fact, I don't believe we've had a major incident on our watch, at least, during our time with the IOC. So now remember, this is your session, this is your time, and we're incredibly lucky to have you here today. And I look forward to speaking to as many of you as I can. Please come and say hi. Let me now hand over to Sam, who's head of our public sector business. Thank you again.
First of all, you're not from service, because nobody ever mentioned they don't have incidents before an event. You just wouldn't do that if you were in service or delivery of any sort whatsoever. But anyway, parking that up. Great. So I mean, we've already talked about this being an iconic sporting venue, and obviously it is. But I think I kind of almost don't say it, but it's not necessarily all just about sports. Everything that we're doing around our hybrid cloud and computing infrastructure piece also applies to lots of different industries. We've worked with lots of leading organisations in non-sport sectors, and a lot of different people here today. So from public sector, from health, from financial services, and also from some manufacturing industries as well. And I think as we start to work with the different people in these industries, what we're trying to do is pull together all the different knowledge that we've learned from all kind of great stuff that Fred and Nick have already talked about, and make sure that we deliver really scalable, secure, sustainable solutions across the piece to everybody. I think you've got a couple of key stats on the slide there. So we've actually got an average relationship with our customers in the UK and I, that is, for 15 years and more. And one of the things that allows us to do is create a really deep relationship with those people, and also then help them work through the evolution of the business. Whether it's something that Scotland, for example, we've got lots of in-house data center delivery for them. We're working with them to see how they can benefit from the cloud. So that's a really important thing for us. And then also we're really proud of the fact that we've actually got 20 points more on our satisfaction score than the average for the industry. And that's down to, I think, and this is, other people probably have a different idea, but I think that's down to two things really. One, we focus really heavily on our customer's customer. And by doing that, it means that everybody that we work with looks at the impact to the end user. So we do a lot of work in my team for the health industry. And I'm always saying to people, if you kind of turn yourself around and look at it from the point of view of how you're helping the doctor, the nurse, the person that's actually delivering people to wards, then you get a different sort of mentality within the delivery that you're doing. And I think, we're all in the IT industry, and I think from that, we know that there's always incidents. But one of the things we're really good at is making sure that we fix first. So, all the different arguments that you can have about whose fault things are, we work in complex partnering situations. As an organisation, we have a reputation for making sure that we help people out and do things, as quickly as possible. So I think those two things, I think, are really key for us. So for this event, we're going to focus on tech for good. We're focusing on how, we can take our experience from hybrid cloud infrastructure and other parts of the organisation to work through and help you on cloud journeys. So from an agenda point of view, I think we're probably already running slightly behind, but I'm still green, Nick, unlike you. We're going to welcome to the stage first colleagues from ISG, and I'll come back to that in a second, and Nick's already covered a little bit about what they're going to say. We're going to have lunch, and then after lunch we've got a special guest from in the form of Steve Cram. So Steve, as you'll all know, is an Olympian broadcaster, coach, and he'll talk us through his experience, but also talk to us a little bit about how important tech is in sport and how increasingly that's becoming more relevant. Following on from that, a little bit more on our 30-year relationship with the IOC, and also having a look at the integration test lab as well, to give you a bit more of a feel of how all that piece works. We've got a sports panel, and the people on the sports panel are going to tell us how important, from their point of view, tech is and how that's increasingly relevant. We'll then have John Kearney from Scottish Water. The Scottish Water are transforming their business through infrastructure. So John's going to tell us some more about that piece. And then we've got a panel finishing that session off as well. So then hopefully, tombola, we might win, I might win, who knows, and then wrap up from there. So I think with that, so we can get on with the agenda, if I can welcome Steve and Eleanor to the stage, and over to you guys. Thank you.